About 3 months ago, I deleted all my social media accounts. At first, I was thinking to myself, why am I doing this? All my friends are on social media. Like, this is kind of stupid. Like, why would I go ahead and delete the one source or repository where everybody is? After not having social media for a few months though, I can generally say that I felt better. Maybe better isn't the right word, but things have definitely felt quieter. So let me tell you the story of why I deleted my social media and what I've learned since I've deleted it. So it was about 3 months ago. I was working and I was actually in Paris. I was traveling for my company. Our main office was in Paris and I was gonna go visit my Paris office to work with my team. And I noticed, like, when I got out of the car in Paris after I got back from the airport, I wasn't really excited to be in Paris. I was more excited to post on my Instagram that I was in Paris. A few reasons for that. One reason is that I had a lot of friends who were in Paris, who were my coworkers, who I wanted to meet up with, and I was excited for them to see that I was in Paris and wanted it to be a huge surprise or whatever. But I guess the second reason was also that I kind of wanted to brag to my friends at home. It feels like Instagram specifically is kind of just one giant like flex box. You know what I mean? Like, everyone goes online and just wants to flex to their friends. They want to show off and say like, hey, like, look where I am now. I'm spending all this money. I'm being really cool. Aren't you jealous that I'm here? And I guess to me, that was like kind of really starting to grate on me a little bit. Like, I wasn't really able to feel comfortable on Instagram, and I would notice that, like, I would log on to Instagram, start scrolling, do the regular scroll through Instagram thing, but I would be sadder when I closed the app than when I opened the app. And I was thinking to myself, wow, that's not a good sign, right? Like, you shouldn't do anything in your life where you feel worse at the end of that thing as opposed to the beginning of that thing, especially if it's an activity, right? Maybe if you did that on a test, I guess that would make sense. But Instagram just felt like it wasn't really adding any value to my life. Like, I got to see where all my friends were, and we would be able to have conversations about that the next time that I saw them in real life. But most of the time, it was just like watching my screen time go up and just watching myself spend 3 hours on an app that I didn't even really like all that much. So one night I was thinking to myself that I just want to get rid of Instagram. I just want to delete it. And so I did. And deleting your accounts is like not the easiest process. You need to kind of like find the dark corners of Facebook and Instagram and open them up. And once you open them up, you're able to find the key. And once you find the key to the third door, then you're able to knock on it and Mark Zuckerberg sends you on a quest. So after I completed my quest, I was finally able to delete my Instagram account. And when I was at it, I was like, may as well delete Facebook and Twitter while I'm here too. So I got rid of my Facebook. I wasn't really active on Twitter. I was never really active on Twitter to begin with. I don't like the kind of like layout of Twitter. I've never really been a huge fan. So that wasn't really a big one to cut from my life. And I actually did rejoin Twitter recently, but I go on it like once a week, not even. But with Facebook, you know, that was another hard one to let go of. You know, there was a lot of data that I've been on Facebook. I've been on Facebook for a long time, since 2009. And all my friends, quote unquote, were on Facebook. You know, like, I did a lot of Facebook message chats. I was actually in a big group message chat with some of my friends. We were planning a vacation when I deleted my Facebook and Instagram. And I kind of just didn't even tell anybody that I was leaving. I kind of just dipped. And then they texted me and I was able to like kind of sort it out in person, but I thought it was kind of funny. But yeah, I guess that, you know, when you quit Facebook especially, they really like try and keep you. They say, hey, we'll keep your data for like 30 or 60 days. I don't remember exactly how long, if you ever want to come back. And that sounded like it was like kind of like a veiled threat. You know what I mean? Like, they knew that they have so much of your time and they knew that you were so much of, you know, a part of Facebook at that point, that you're so much like, you're almost like indebted to their service, having used it for so long, that by getting rid of your Facebook account, they're like, oh, you'll be back. And then when you come back, we'll keep your data around for you. So I opted to delete my data. I do this a lot. Whenever I want to quit a bad habit, I generally think it's better to go cold turkey and not be able to do that habit ever again, because that's the best way to kind of get rid of that habit. You know, I read this book, Atomic Habits by James Clear, and one of the things that he talks about is really just kind of like trying to understand how, if you want to make a habit not a thing for your brain, you just make it ridiculously hard to do. And conversely, if you want to have a good habit like going to the gym, you make it really easy by putting your gym shorts on your bed the first thing in the morning, or putting your gym shoes in front of your door, so you have to put on your gym shoes before you open your door. Things like that. So the first month passed. The first thing that I noticed was I was kind of like lonely a lot, you know what I mean? Like sometimes when you're bored, you kind of just like are able to open Facebook and Instagram by default, and you kind of like are able to stem your boredom by just like looking at these applications. But I noticed that wasn't really an option once I deleted those accounts, right? So I had to find other things to do. I had already been reading, and I posted a few videos on reading because I do really like reading, but I started reading more because, like, you know, what am I going to fill those Instagram time with? I also started watching a lot more YouTube, which isn't a good thing. I think that I learned a lot from YouTube, but I would just end up treating YouTube the same way that I treated Instagram, where it's just kind of like my finger would gravitate towards that. So that's the thing about, I guess, all social medias in general, is that we kind of like, as people, we're all really information hungry, and we all really want to know what's going on in the world at any given time. So like being able to like check your Instagram feed and get that dopamine rush of someone liking your photo, even though it's worth nothing, it's just worth internet points, and internet points aren't worth anything. It kind of still feels good just to look at it and just to have it in your hand. So like not having those two had been kind of a problem. I think the biggest thing that I missed was Facebook Messenger. And one of the things, you know, people were telling me when I was leaving Facebook, they're like, oh, why didn't you just keep your Facebook, but then deactivate it and keep Facebook Messenger around? And to me, deactivating isn't the same thing. Deactivating is still keeping you in the ecosystem of Facebook, because when you deactivate your Messenger, people are still going to invite you to events and stuff like that. But then they're going to be like, hey, can you log on to Facebook to check this event? And then you're back on Facebook. So it's really kind of just like a half measure to stay on Messenger. And one thing that I did notice is that my close friends, or the ones who I consider close, still stayed in contact with me over text. So it's not like I lost any friends in the process, I don't think. Maybe people who were more auxiliary and I didn't even really need to know about their lives anyway. There's an interesting theory, I think it was put forward by Darwin actually, but I'm not 100% sure, that people can have up to a max of 150 people in their unit, right? Or whatever their unit is kind of like the maximum amount of size that you can gossip with people. And I think that's important. And I think that one of the problems with, you know, the Instagram and the Facebooks and the YouTubes and the social medias of the world is that we really have extended our circles, but not in a way where we actually know these people. We just know them through the information that we see about them on the screen. And that's not the same thing. You don't actually get to know a person unless you are able to talk to them in real life and really understand what motivates them and really understand why they do the things that they do, as opposed to the internet persona that they're putting forward. So yeah, I mean, it's been almost 3 months now. You know, it feels weird because like it feels like I'm like a part of that whole Cal Newport deep work thing now, where everybody is quitting their social media, and it's like, yeah, we need to be anti to social media, and I don't really think it's that deep for me. I do think that social media is very manipulative. I think that it is kind of like preys on psychology very well, and not necessarily for malicious reasons, but for the reasons that Facebook needs to make money, and Twitter needs to make money, and Google needs to make money. And the best way for them to make money is to be able to make sure that you continue using their applications, and make sure that you kind of like continue giving them your attention so that they can put more ads in front of you. So again, I'm not necessarily blaming these companies for doing the things that they have to do to make money, but it is hard as an individual to be able to distinguish when you should be using a social media account versus not. I guess these past 2 months have taught me that social media isn't necessary. Like, I don't miss it. I'll occasionally like use the Instagram web browser to like look at like some of my friends who have like public profile accounts, and I'll just like look and kind of see what they're up to, similar to like when I was on Instagram, but it's like way harder to do that and way more annoying. So I don't really do that often. And it's like the pictures are just so bad quality on the web too, because they really try to just get you into the app where they can start feeding ads and stuff like that to you too. But I don't know, I haven't missed it. Like, I don't miss the idea of having to check Instagram every morning. I already do that with email, and like email is another thing that's like kind of like intrinsic to our society and inextricable from our lives. So I don't know, I guess that it's been pretty good.